Bullying Arnold Schwarzenegger's accent was the best decision State Farm could have done to promote their company. I'm not joking when I say this, but the marketing team needs to get a raise from this ad. Now, State Farm ads have typically stood out to me whenever I'm watching the NBA, but this specific ad was just on a whole nother level. In this ad, they focused on making Arnold say,
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
But because of his Austrian accent, he says this.
"Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there."
They really emphasized the neighbor part, and this was the plot device throughout the entire ad. You don't even need to know what State Farm's about because it's just like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. State Farm's an insurance company, feasting off your inability to get into an accident. One call and it's all over for State Farm. Now they're out here crying to spend money on you? That's not how business works, but this ad gives no thought to that concept. The purpose of this ad was to get you the "like a good neighbor" line ingrained in your head to further spark your interest into thinking State Farm's gonna save me from my next 2 paychecks after this car crash. And how do they do this? Oh my gosh. And how do they do this? And how do they do this? And how do they do this, you ask? By bullying Arnold. State Farm is literally out here scamming Arnold. When Arnold used to be a good actor, he'd be making around $21,000 per word he spoke. After becoming governor and washed, State Farm looked at his pay cuts and was like, he said he's not needing money? Let's take his accent and try to teach a 7-year-old how to speak proper English. And that's exactly what they did. Throughout the entire ad, it was just and what an absolute masterpiece that was. This ad didn't successfully convey what State Farm was really about. It just got you interested in State Farm as a company. Oh yeah, and also the "like a good neighbor, State Farm is there." There's so many little aspects of this ad that I just love to admire. It makes me feel like an English teacher pulling information out of my ass from a passage saying Johnny went to the kitchen to eat some bread. Now every scene had something related to the words that Arnold couldn't pronounce properly, like when he's saying
"Like a good neighbor,
pause,
State Farm is there."
really emphasizing the in his words. Now look at how some of these specific scenes are directly related to the words that end in "er." His script for
Paper.
a pregnant woman in
Labor.
sheep for and being inside of a
Chopper.
It's pronounced chopper.
Out.
It is.
A nice little reference, by the way. But most importantly, it was his journey to saying neighbor properly, which led to this.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Simple.
What a nice little reference to the twins. I honestly don't know how they packed all of this content into 1 minute and 44 seconds because the pacing was absolutely on top of its game. From the moments of short comedic breaks to the energetic action scenes, it was all crafted in perfection. If only Marvel's trash ass could match something like this. So thank you, Agent State Farm, for pleasing my brain from the torture of AP exams.
You are a backstabber.
I am a backstabber.